Okay, thanks for joining us and welcome back. You're watching The Topic, Thailand's weekly news update show. We're going to move on to our final three topics. Number 8 in our list is...
Number 8.
Number 8, okay, we're on the 8 ball. Don't know what that means, but I've heard many people say it before. The Democrat Party. Now, as you may know, of course, if you follow Thai politics...
Are they still around?
It's about a year and a half since the Democrats lost office.
They're still around?
Okay, they are still around.
Oh,
now, I'm going to ask my studio guests, where are the Democrat Party now? What are they up to?
I'm the wrong guy to ask. I think we better throw this one to Adrian first.
Well, you know, when the South bombing happened, who was there first? I think Apisit was there first visiting. He's still there. He's still active going to the ground. I don't see anyone from the government being as active as him going to the ground, visiting all these areas where there's a problem. Do you?
You know, I think at the end of the day, you know, the Democrats have a job to do.
Well, they are the opposition.
The job is they have to be an opposition.
They should be an effective opposition.
The problem is they're
trying
not
to find something that they can throw at
instead of doing press photos, opportunities, and you know, I think they should be. Look, I would love for the Democrats to be the opposition party that they can be. I think Kun Apisit is a smart gentleman, and I think he's very articulate. I wish that he would just do the job that the people expect him to do, which is to keep tabs on the government, rather than doing...
And he will be doing that, and I'm sure they'll be raising...
He hasn't done it in a year and a half.
They'll be raising this censure debate, and I'm sure they'll be targeting the correct people. And, you know, I think this will happen. We have to wait for the session to start again.
You can't have an opposition party that just consistently says no. No to everything. No.
No, I don't think he has said no.
NASA wanted to come here and do a very good thing.
Okay.
No. Right? Every time the government wants to do something, the answer is no.
The jury's out on that one.
The opposition's role is to ensure that our government is doing the right thing. Not to stop every project.
It's a check and balance.
I don't disagree with you.
Okay, so government has what, another 2.5 years left in office before they have to call the next general election. Now
the opposition's role is not to say no all the time.
Should be throwing something. Should be trying to make something stick on the government that people can say, okay, maybe these guys aren't doing such a great job after all. So, Adrian, what have the Democrat Party got to do?
The opposition's role in a democracy is not to always oppose. The opposition is there to check and balance what happens in Parliament. And I think they are doing that given their limited capability because they don't have a majority.
I agree with you on that one. They do have limited capability.
They don't have a majority. But look at the recent debate between the current Minister of Finance and the previous Minister of Finance. I think I know who won this debate.
I'm here.
Obviously, the taller guy is much better.
Let me tell you this. I am one for a government that has a check and balance. I do think that the Democrats are in big trouble for the simple fact that they're now being known as the party of no. People would appreciate the Democrats, I think, if they actually offer solutions or alternatives to a government position.
And on that, I agree, as I mentioned.
And I think
the job is not to say no all the time.
If you ask me what the Democrats have to do, I think they actually have to start coming up with...
How realistic is it that they can be an effective checks and balance with the number of seats they have in the House?
Well, you know, look, it doesn't take 100 people, it doesn't take 50 people. Kun Apisit has always had the goodwill of the Thai general public. I think Kun Apisit just has to go back to his original stance, which is a democratic loving politician rather than a power-hungry grabbing politician.
Okay, so Democrat Party, they have some pretty traditional weaknesses. I think communication, public relations.
Their weakness.
Adrian,
they should improve, and they are.
Adrian suggests us something that they can do to
look at what they're doing on the social media now. They are definitely scoring on the social media front for the Democrats than the current government.
Is that going to help them win the next general election?
I'm sure there are 15 million people using Facebook in Thailand.
I think that the Democrats need to start explaining to the people that we will respect the will of the majority. We're not smarter than the general public. We want to work with the people. We want to work with this government. And again, let's invite this government to work with the Democrats. I think the Democrats have to be the one to offer the fig leaf. Yes, we are in the opposition, but yet we can still make a difference.
Okay, so former Prime Minister Apisit, is he going to be leading the Democrat Party into the next general election?
I'm pretty sure he will be.
Is that louder? Did you guys hear that? Let me try that again.
Speak up.
Well, I'm sure he will be.
If it's not him, who's it going to be?
I think Kun Gon has a huge shot at being the next leader of the Democratic Party.
He has been outspoken. He has performed well. He has been a professional. He's a technocrat. And this comes to my point again, or a point that I would like to raise is, any government, when I looked at today's government, I don't see it as, you're not putting the right people in the right jobs here. You're not electing the right people into power here.
65% approval rating.
No. But
that to me is pretty good.
When you, if you want to drive a car,
65%
if you want to drive a car,
rating.
you need a driving license. If you want to be a doctor, you need a certificate.
If you
want to be a politician, you don't need anything.
We had a woman
you don't
who
need
owned
anything.
a massage parlor as
so,
a minister of commerce in the last Democrat.
So
that's not telling me they're putting the right people in.
You have a lady whose brother is a wanted criminal as the leader. So,
Not according to the U.S.
The U.S. law does not apply here.
I'm not a U.S. citizen.
The U.S. law doesn't apply here.
I have the utmost respect for Kunnabi said. I think he's a good guy. Personally, I think he's a good guy. I just think he's taken the wrong track.
Okay, so a change of leadership at the Democrat Party before the next general election, could it be a revolution in the Democrat Party that sees them become a lot more stronger and potentially overturn their history of loss?
The Democratic Party just has to start respecting the will of the Thai people.
No. Forget about that. What do you think, Adrian?
Well,
if they go the technocrat route with leadership, are they going to become like a much stronger
has
force?
a personality. He has a following. He has people like him. So I don't know if changing a leader now will actually make it better or worse for the Democrats. I'm not sure either. I
think there has to be a change. The wine is old, and I think you need to have a completely new bottle. And I think.
Yeah, I think it's a question of career politicians versus technocrats. Yeah. And if you have technocrats, people that know how to get stuff done,
then the country will be much better.
Are in tune with the modern practice of social warfare.
Yeah. But I go back to your original point.
I think they're going to be a much stronger party. I mean, that's just the way I think. But I leave it to you, gentlemen.
I go back to your original point, though. The Democrat Party, right? It can't be where are you. Show us something. Show us that you're part of the progress rather than the continuous stoppage of the movement forward for Thailand.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on to number 9. Topic number 9 this week, squatting toilets.
What? How do we go from the AEC, the Democrats, to squatting toilets?
Squatting toilets.
What is a squatting toilet?
Who picks the topic?
I picked the topic? I can't even squat.
Squatting toilets. They're on the way out, apparently. If local news stories are to believe, squatting toilets are on the way out. I mean, I just learned how to use these
things. How do you use it? Can you show us?
No, I'm not going to show you.
How does one use a squatting toilet?
I just learned how to use these things.
Show our foreign friends how to use a squatting toilet.
What do you think? What do you think of this?
Well, it's great. But, toilets. Cleanliness is number 1, not about whether you squat or whether you sit. Number 2, it's about where they are. Can you find them? I mean, I go to the BTS and there's not a single toilet. So this article that came out said that there's a new regulation that said that all public toilets would have to have squats replaced with sitting. That's fine. That's great.
But
are they going to be dirtier or are they going to be cleaner? I'm more concerned about that.
Hallelujah. If the camera adds 10 pounds to you, so obviously, this is making me look, very, very, very heavy.
You don't have an opinion on squatting toilets?
I have it. I hate it. I can't squat. I don't know how to squat. I have no idea why anyone would want to squat. Look, to me, put my behind, with something under it, and I'm a happy man.
Who invented squatting toilets?
Whoever came up with this idea, Democrats, I don't care. I don't give a hoot. I agree. Hallelujah. Give me a seat.
Is this a government initiative?
I don't know. What is it? It's somebody's smart idea.
Possibly a government initiative to outlaw squatting toilets.
I mean, how does one actually squat?
One of the best policies I see coming from the government.
I agree. This is a good policy.
Well, maybe our producer will find some very tasteful graphics to show us
on a squatting toilet.
But I will say a couple of things. That squatting toilets are meant to be more hygienic than the conventional seating ones.
Yeah, until you actually fall down and fall into it, then you got a problem.
And they're probably easier for you to actually ease yourself as well.
Ease yourself what?
You're in a position that utilizes the forces of gravity.
If I want to use a squat toilet, I'm going to go out to the jungle, okay? and become like, George of the jungle or something, squat there and pick a hole.
Okay, we're going to move on.
I live in
Cleanliness is more
Bangkok.
important. Cleanliness.
Can Tom's talking about falling down in squatting toilets, clearly talking from experience. Our final topic of this week, number 10, Thailand's Olympic team. How have they been doing?
How many medals do they have now?
3. But let's congratulate her because, to be fair, these people toil
I'm sure.
for 4 years.
to,
Oh, no, it's a
I mean,
lifetime.
it's great.
It's a lifetime of effort.
And to be fair, there's 6 billion people in the world. To win a medal at the Olympic Games, for your country. I mean, to stand on that podium.
It's a great honor. It's a great honor.
Seeing her hold the picture of the king, it's always something that warms our hearts. And Thailand is not the world's biggest country.
Have you watched much of the Olympics this time?
Well, sports has always been a uniting factor in society. And, unfortunately, not many people can watch Olympics on TV because some of the screens are blacked out.
Are they? I mean, this is the first time I've been living in Thailand for 16 years now, and I can't remember such comprehensive coverage of the Olympics as we've had this year. I think it's incredible. I think True after the European Football Championships debacle, they've done a great job. I think there's 8 Olympic channels, 4 of which are in HD, if you're lucky enough to have HD. It's been great. I've stayed up late nearly every night to watch Usain Bolt. I've watched
that guy's something, isn't he?
handball, volleyball, fencing coverage has been fantastic.
Since we were talking about government and all that and policies, and now we're talking about sports. So how's the government policy with regards to sports? Are they supporting sports? Are they providing enough facilities, enough resources to increase and improve
I don't
the sport?
disagree you.
Every
government has done, I think every government from this one to the last 10, 20 years has not done a very good job of supporting sport. And that's why I think it's even more, that we should compliment, the people that have gone out and gotten the gold.
I don't know.
Because
it was really hard to do it because they didn't have the support.
It is really hard.
We don't have the facilities.
Yeah.
We don't have the grassroots development. We don't have the quality in
But
the training.
if you think about it, rich countries like Singapore, bigger countries than us like Indonesia, wealthier countries like Malaysia, their athletes don't win as many medals as ours.
Well, Singapore is a very small country. There are
But,
very few athletes.
but
they
again,
have a lot of imports.
But again, at the end of the day, regardless of what, I'm here to say, look, whether the government is supporting or not supporting, let's talk about the individuals. These people went out and brought pride to our country. The weightlifter,
I'm sure,
the
yes.
boxer.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think 2016 in Brazil, golf is coming back as an Olympic sport.
Golf is going to be well for Thailand.
We've got very, very many.
And
we've got very, very many.
badminton.
We've got very, very many young Thai golfers coming up through the ranks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see in 4 years' time maybe a Thai golfer on the podium,
And
winning 1 or 2 golf medals.
Don't forget our badminton team. The badminton players this year are all very young. The young lady made it all the way to the quarterfinals, almost beat the Chinese number 2. So
we always seem to do well at Taekwondo.
Yeah. 2016, golden year for Thai Olympics.
Okay, now before we wrap this up, gentlemen, any last topics? Any last word, Adrian? No. We're not let him have the last word.
No,
let him go first because I don't want him to have the last word.
This has been a great show. I love it. It shows a living, vibrant, democratic society in Thailand where we can sit down and debate and agree not to agree.
Right. Yeah. I think it's important.
Perfect.
I think it's important, Jay, and I appreciate you trying to put on a show like this. As Adrian said, the only way to resolve a conflict is through conversation.
That's right.
Right? I think in a country like ours, there's nothing better than just talk it out. Adrian and I do not have to agree, but what we have to do is respect each other's ideas.
Yeah, and we all want the best for Thailand. Thailand's my home. Thailand's your home. Thailand's your home.
Well, there's nothing better than 3 badly educated guys talking absolute nonsense. We'll be back here same time next week. If you have got any comments, I'm sure you better find us on a website or Facebook or Twitter, something like that. Just look out for it. Topic on MCOT. What's on
MCOT World.
MCOT World. Channel 99 on True. So if you want to join the show, if you've got any questions, any criticism, any suggestions, send it in. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Okay?
Done. Get out of here.
Do you have all the content?
It's one life.
Gotta go.
Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. It's time to regulate.
Topic number 9, squatting toilet.
What?
Myanmar might not be so.
I don't think they have a choice. I don't think they have a choice.
Another country.
I don't think they have a choice.
China?
So wait a minute. So is this going to help Thailand or hurt Thailand? No to everything. No.
Am I going to get a cheap
Good question.
They can never break your pride. Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. They can never take your pride.
How do we go from the AEC, the Democrats, to squatting toilet?